next act, I know you're going to enjoy him because he's talented, he's bright, and he's my son, so I know you're going to enjoy him.
And we're here, all on the business TV. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the All on the Business show, radio, TV, whatever you want to call it. Like, subscribe, share, drop a comment. Let me know where you're from. If you got any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. Also, hit that notification bell so you could get a notification anytime I drop some new content like this and like that, to keep you informed with the laws of the land so you could, execute as such. But first you need to know what the law is before you can actually know how to use the law. So today's presentation is going to be about Freedom of Information Act, Public Record Search and Request, and the significance of the Freedom of Information Act request. Okay, what's the significance of that? I'm sure we've all heard of a Freedom of Information Act public record search and request, or maybe we haven't. But I'm here to let you know that all public information is public domain and readily available, unless it's some type of private information or unless you have some type of claim or lawsuit pending against an entity or some type of liability that they know about prior. Then the Freedom of Information Act, they'll hold you to taking them to court. But Freedom of Information Act request is kind of like the first step to exhaust your remedies when you want to begin executing the law. You can't execute the law without the proper information, without the proper documentation. So we're going to get off into the significance. Title 5 of the United States Code, Section 552, Public Information. This is the law that regulates Freedom of Information Act public record requests. So when you go into Title 5 of the United States Code, Section 552, you'll see, all the requirements and all the steps necessary. No need for us to get all, caught up and tangled. But I will share the law with you. Okay. Public Information Agency rules, opinions, orders, records, and proceedings. Each agency shall make available to the public information as follows. Each agency, agency means each authority of the government of the United States, whether or not it is within or subject to review by another agency, but does not include the Congress, the courts of the United States, the governments of the territories or possessions of the United States, the government of the District of Columbia, anything federal. When it says agency, anything federal, it's not talking about, but it's talking about each authority of the government of the United States, but not something that's like Puerto Rico, right? Guam, the canals, stuff like that. It's not referring to that type of agency. It's not referring to the Congress. You can't hold the Congress accountable for Freedom of Information Act requests. Why? Because everything Congress does is already open to the public. It's open meetings. At least they film them, record them. The courts of the United States, same thing. All cases are public information that can be readily searched If you want to search congressional information, you got to get on the Library of Congress. Okay, the Library of Congress. If you want to search court information, you have to get on the court's website or Pacer, right? If you want to search the governments of the territories and possessions of the United States, you got to proceed to, going and following those procedures with those entities. The government of District of Columbia, the 51st state, federal zone. Okay, so let's go backwards. So now that we went backwards, we go down here and we just, scroll through a little bit. But this is the Freedom of Information Act request rules, right? Now, if we get back here. Now, if there's non-compliance with the Freedom of Information Act request, sanctions for non-compliance may not be imposed except within jurisdiction delegated to the agency, right? So each agency has the jurisdiction delegated to it in order to comply with the federal law of the Freedom of Information Act request. For example, Colorado has the Colorado Open Record Act. Now, the fines for the non-compliance, the sanctions or fines, right? Sanctions, fines, are prescribed under the state laws. Prescribed under the state laws. So if you want to know how much you can actually charge for the non-compliance of this Freedom of Information Act request, is going to be within the laws of the state in which you sent this request. All right. So let me go ahead and erase this. And I'm going to show you that in the law in a second too. Hold on. Gotta erase this stuff. Pardon. All right, so let's go back here. Let me go here and let's go backwards. And let's go to section 558, imposition of sanctions. A sanction may not be imposed or a substantive rule or order. Hold on. Substantive rule means the whole or a part of an agency statement of general or particular applicability and future effect designed to implement, interpret, or prescribe law or policy. Let's just stop there. Or no, let's law or policy or describing the organization, procedure, or practice requirements of an agency and includes the approval or prescription for the future of rates, wages, corporate or financial structures or reorganizations thereof, prices, facilities, appliances, services, or allowances thereof, or valuations, costs, or accounting, or practices bearing on any of the foregoing. Okay. So a rule, order, a final disposition, whether affirmative, negative, injunctive, or declarative in form of any of an agency in a matter other than rule making, but including licensing. Okay, rule or order. A sanction may not be imposed or a substantive rule or order issued except within jurisdiction delegated to the agency and as authorized by law. Okay. So it's delegated to the agency. Of course, the agency, we already looked up the definition, which really means each authority of the government of the United States, which means the state government, the federal government, each authority. So not the government in particular, but each department, Department of State, Department of Treasury, right? And then it showed you who is not included in that. All right. So we can stop sharing that. Let's get back here. So now that we know there's sanctions imposed. There's sanctions imposed on the state, right? Now, when we think about this right here, a record, public record. What is a public record? Right? We really need to understand what a public record is. And I have the definition for you. So let's go ahead and share the screen so we can get into the public record. All right, public record includes all recorded information, regardless of form or characteristics, made or received by a federal agency under federal law or in connection with the transaction of public business, or preserved or appropriate for preservation by that agency or its legitimate successor as evidence of the organization, function, policies, decisions, procedures, operations, or other activities of the United States government, or because of the informational value of data in them. Informational value. Now listen, it says United States and it says federal law, federal agency. But what you have to understand is when you operate, which they do, under special maritime, under special admiralty and maritime and territorial jurisdiction, when you operate under that jurisdiction, a state itself is part of the United States government. Why? Because to even be called a state of, that means you are incorporated into the union. The United States is a federal government corporation, as we reviewed in the last video titled Who Owns the Government? If you go watch that video, you will learn that each state had to have votes from the people of the republic, territory, or colony to decide to incorporate into the Union of the United States of America in order to do business with the federal government, so that they could fund the people of the state, or the people in the state. So public record is any information that's recorded. Any information that's recorded, right? It has to be made public. If it's in the courts, if it's in Congress, unless it's classified or confidential information, then it's going to be a public record. Even then, if it's confidential or classified, it should still be released. But, you get stuff marked with black marker and stuff. But a lot of stuff be top secret. But let's just deal with what's not top secret. Public record is who owns it. Public record equals everybody. Public record equals everybody. So everybody's records is public record. Right? Right? Or we could just say like this. Public record. Public records are persons. All right. Public records are persons. This intangible property can be attached in the place of a person. As a person. Public record. Now, a request. Well, we know what a search is. A search is when you want to look through somebody's stuff. But what a request is, now this is the word that you may get entangled with. Request equals a seizure. And since this is a freedom, right? Freedom of Information Act. What does that mean? Freedom of Information Act. That means the information is free to the public. Now, if you submit a Freedom of Information Act request, and of course they're gonna send you a estimated cost, and you pay for it. Now, if you just want to get information for your own benefit and purposes to read and enjoy, or to educate yourself, then you're gonna have to pay for that. However, if you submit a Freedom of Information Act request for information that is basically security for you for an injury, then you can get whatever you paid for that information back to you once you secure the damages for your injury, right? So in order to submit a public record for a public record request for this person, right? The public record is the person. The request is a seizure. You want to seize a person, right? And the information is free to the public. The person is free. The information is free. The person is free. Why? Because slavery ended. So they don't got no slaves no more under government authority. So the person is free. The person is free to the public. Not, they freed the slaves. The person is free. You want to seize the person, it don't cost you nothing. Unless you seizing them for no reason. And in that case, the cost is on you, and you won't be getting nothing back. Whether you lose in court, or whether you lose on your injuries, or you don't even try to get them back, you won't get nothing back, right? In theory, I'm saying, in theory, you won't get anything back if you pay for information for no reason. You just want to read it. You just want to have it. I've been there. I've paid for information, and I've gotten it, and I felt good about buying it because it was public information that otherwise I wouldn't have been able to have or find, because certain public information is not just available to the general public, but it has to be requested. So when you request this information and they send it to you, you have to pay for it, and you get caught up paying for shit that you could have found, or you don't really need, you have no use for other than your educational purposes, which is fine. Gotta grab the eraser. Pardon the sweater. I would have dressed more casual, but it's a little cold today. So now we understand that the public record is the person. We understand that so let's get deeper into this request science, because a request is a seizure. Now, I have a Black's Law dictionary here, of course, and I did highlight the word seize and seizure for us. And we're just going to take a step back. And the word seize is defined to forcibly take possession of a person or property. Okay, that's the first definition. Second definition, to place someone in possession. Third definition, to be in possession of property. Okay, to be in possession. So you want to request it because you want to be in possession of the property. You want to seize it, right? To be informed of or aware of something, you want to be informed of it, right? You want to seize the information, right? Now let's look at seizure. One step down. It says the act or an instance of taking possession of a person or property by legal right or possession or process. The act or an instance of taking possession of a person or property by legal right or process, and especially in constitutional law, a confiscation or arrest that may interfere with a person's reasonable expectation of privacy. So, what an excellent definition of the word seizure, a freedom of information. Now, a request is a seizure, right? Now, let's see if we have the word request. That's the one I didn't highlight, but let's find it quickly. Not hard. Let's find it quick. Hope y'all are enjoying today's class so far. If you are, hit the like button. Like I said, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Request. And the request goes back to parliamentary law. A motion by which a member invokes a right, seeks permission for the exercise of a privilege, or asks a question. Invokes a right, seeks permission for the exercise of a privilege, or asks a question. Think, okay, now let's request for information. See point of information. Okay, so let's see. Request for information, point of information. Let's just go ahead and travel backwards into this book for point of information. Won't be hard to find. Element OP. Point of information, an inquiry asking a question about a motion's merit or effect. A point of information can be made only to seek information, not to volunteer information. So a point of information, a request for information can only be used to seek information, but not to give it, which means it provokes the Fifth Amendment, protection from self-incrimination. Because it's self-incrimination is voluntary, give voluntary information. It may request an objective fact or an expert opinion, but may not request anyone, including the chair or the mover, to speculate about how he or she expects or intends that the present or future leadership will interpret or apply a motion. So you can't be talking about political standing in an information request, because now you're trying to make somebody a fortune teller, and they can't give you legal advice. So it says to seize, to be informed, one of the many definitions. And the request for the information is to seek the information. The information is the person itself. Why? What's the other definition? To be in possession of, to forcibly take possession of a person or property, to place someone in possession. Public record is someone. It's someone. It's one thing. It doesn't have to be one human to be someone. Not in law, at least. Not in legalese. A person could be an individual, a corporation, organization, trust, unincorporated association. A government entity is a person. A state, the state of any state is a person. The United States is a person. Corporations, public records are persons. A request is a seizure. We discussed what a seizure is. Freedom of information really means the person is free to the public. Because why? Because slavery has been abolished. Emancipation Proclamation. So let's go here. But it's not. But is slavery really abolished? No. Is slavery? I mean, it's abolished, but is it over? Is it really over? No. Because if you understand the 13th Amendment, then you understand that slavery's up and running, right? Okay, so we did the request. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. Just the nitty gritty right here, y'all. Okay. So now let's put this Black's Law Dictionary back. I don't want to drop it. What is with all those definitions that we just had? What is a FOIA? I put all the words so you can understand the totality what we doing. And shout out to those who already understand where I'm going with this. Some of y'all already have put two and two together. What is a FOIA? FOIA, F-O-I-A. What is a FOIA public record search and request? Answer. A warrant for search and seizure. Right? Now, a warrant for search and seizure. Now, what's another word for seizure? Anybody ever been seized? If you've been seized, drop a comment, drop a 20. Drop a 20 in the comments. If you've been seized, drop a 20. Hey man, drop a 20 in my Cash App. The best nation is donation. $ALLONABIZ. $, all on the biz. What is a FOIA public record search and request? Answer. A warrant for search and seizure. What is a search? A seizure. A seizure. A seizure. Let's just say to seize. Let's do it from here. To seize means, not is, but means. You use the word, I found I use the word means when you're dealing with synonyms or similarities or a description of what this word really means instead of dealing with what it actually is. Because the description always isn't the described. However, to seize means to arrest. Seize means to arrest. Now let's go back to the screen share joint. Hold on, let me find the. All right. Let's open this one up. Citizen's arrest is an arrest made by a private citizen in contrast to the typical arrest made by a police officer. Citizens' arrests are lawful in certain limited situations, such as when a private citizen personally witnesses a violent crime and then detains the perpetrator. For example, in tort law, a citizen's arrest is something that any person can do without being held liable for interfering with another person's interest, when that interference would otherwise be being held liable for would otherwise constitute assault, battery, and false imprisonment. I fumbled that sentence. I'm gonna read it over. For example, in tort law, a citizen's arrest is something that any person can do without being held liable for interfering with another person's interest, when that interference would otherwise constitute assault, battery, and false imprisonment. This means that any person can physically detain another in order to arrest them, but state statutes define limited circumstances in which this deprivation of liberty is allowed. See, a deprivation of rights is allowed, right? If there's probable cause, right? So if you have probable cause to make an arrest, if you see somebody committing a crime in front of you, no matter who it may be, you can arrest them, right? No matter who it is. No matter who it is, right? People that are on bond, especially. When people are on bond, when people go to court and they get arrested and they gotta pay a bail to get out and they on bond, you could file a Freedom of Information Act request on that case, or you could actually go to that court where that person, right, and do a search in that court and get all the information. You know, you could pay for the information on a public request. And you can actually, you know, destroy somebody's bond that they have like that, man. Imagine if somebody, your mama's boyfriend beat her, you 18 years old, your mama boyfriend beat her, and he's out on bail, and you seen it happen. He's out on bail, and you hear about him beating another woman. You could go down to the courthouse where he's on bail at. You could purchase the copy of that bond. And you could cash that bond out. You could get you listen, you could get the money off that bond. I ain't telling you what to do, but this is what I'm saying. So, you know, this is how, because he's already on bond for a crime. Now you got proof that he committed another crime. You got to have proof. And then when you got the proof and you submit it with that bond, you're going to tell the court, you know, I want this man's bond because I seen him commit a crime. And now they're going to increase the level of the bond that he has to be released, or they'll remand his bond. They'll revoke his bond. And now that man who beat your mother, you know, that's that boyfriend, he's going to jail. And he won't be able to get out on bail because you destroyed his bond. Citizens arrest. That was just a rough example. In Texas, the citizens arrest statute states that any person may arrest someone that is committing a felony or an offense against the public peace in front of them. Now, I'm not telling you to go arrest somebody with cuffs. Don't do that. I told you this is not a how-to. This is a what? Take notes. Learn what I'm talking about. Don't try to go execute nothing. Okay? Because when we talk about arrest, we're talking about a Freedom of Information Act public search and request. Now, the request is a seizure. We already dealt with that. And we know that a seizure means arrest. And now I'm showing you a citizen's arrest. But how do you do a citizen's arrest? No, not with cuffs, not with physical cuffs, at least. You do it with the cuff of an envelope, baby. You do it with these type of cuffs. Cuffs of an envelope, man. You cuff them in the envelope. All right. We talking about paper swords. You know, you ever got a paper cut? Yeah, paper cuts. In California, the citizens arrest statute states that any person may arrest another for a public offense committed or attempted in their presence. Listen, may arrest another when the person arrested has committed a felony, although not in their presence. So if you heard about a motherfucker doing something, hey man, if you heard about somebody doing something in California and you got the proof, and you go to whoever you heard it from and you get the proof from them, oh man, this ain't no prosecution. We ain't talking about prosecuting. We talking about requesting. It's two different things. See, a prosecutor can't request. Not like this. The prosecutor can't do what we doing with the request, baby. No bar association member. Eat your heart out. And I don't want to make them hate me. I just want everybody to do their job. Do your job. And you I'll be out of your hair, but I'm here. And I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay, man. There's public information on YouTube, all on the business TV. This is where you heard it first. A Freedom of Information Act search and request is a warrant for search and seizure, and to seize means to arrest. You got to let these words sink in. In general, the ability to perform a citizen's arrest is the same for a regular person as it is for a police officer without a warrant. This is on Cornell. You got to be kidding me right now. You got to be kidding. Listen, in general, In general, not especially, not in special circumstances. In general means all of the time. And then there's other exceptions, which had already told us that the state statutes define the limited circumstances in which you could deprive someone of their liberty. However, in general, the ability to perform a citizen's arrest is the same for a regular person as it is for a police officer without a warrant. So when we say freedom, FOIA, public record search and request, we're not saying warrant for search and arrest. We're not saying, or search and seizure. We're not saying that. We're not even saying the word seizure. We're not saying those. We're saying record. We're using the words that the law tells us to use because we executing the law. Title 5. This administrative. U.S. Code 552. We getting public information. So don't misconstrue the words, but I'm just showing you that all law is one law, and that it's all law. One law agrees with the next. No laws contradict each other. There's only exceptions, stipulations, and special rules that apply. But there's no contradiction. There's no, if you said one law and that stands, then the other law can't say something else. Because now it's a conflict of law, and the governments are against each other, but the governments need to be on one accord, and which is why it's called a union. So let's get off this screen. It's hot fire class right now. It's hot fire right here, boy. Hey, this hot fire right now. Listen, drop a like if you haven't already, man. Put a $sign in the comment if this is valuable for you. I'm getting excited, man, because I know the potential of what it's really worth. I'm just getting excited about where I'm leading you. I'm leading you somewhere. I'm not giving you advice. Nah, I ain't giving you no advice. Going to the water, man. Just follow me. I'm going to the water. You follow me. Okay? I ain't telling you which way to go. I'm telling you, I'm going to the water. Now, follow me. Now, you could say he said he was going to the water, but you can't say he told me which way the water is. Nah, I ain't telling you that, baby. I'm taking you to the water. I can't make you drink it, baby. Let's go. Next step, arrest. So what am I going to arrest? What can you arrest? Now, let's go back to that Ohio law. Ain't my fault they put the laws up on TV. Let's go back to that Ohio law. TV, baby. TV, baby. This ain't arrogance. This ain't bragging and boasting. This is what the laws is made you, supposed to make you feel like, supposed to make you feel good that the laws is on your side. Boy, it gives me joy. Joy that the laws are on my side, that my ancestors knew what they was doing. Suit on a bond. When a person forfeits his bond or renders his sureties liable thereon, a person injured thereby who is entitled to the benefit of the security may bring an action thereon in his own name against the person and his sureties to recover the amount to which he is entitled by reason of the delinquency, which an action may be prosecuted on a certified copy of the bond. A judgment for one delinquency does not preclude the same for another person from bringing an action on an instrument from another delinquency. And we're going to surf through these Ohio laws real quick. We're going to go through 3 of them. Next one, copy of the bond on tender of the proper fee. The custodian of the bond referred to in section 2307.06, which is the prior section, shall deliver a copy thereof to a person claiming to be injured. The requirements of such section are not imperative, right? Because they may deny it. And also, there's other ways to perform or to execute a bond if you was injured. If they don't deliver a certified copy thereof of that bond that you want to prosecute on, there's other information you can prosecute on. There's other public requested information you can prosecute on, because we already said public records are persons, so there's other persons to get. So it's not imperative that they give you this. But let's think about it like this now. Let's go to ORC, civil claims. Let me stop talking. Look, Ohio law, civil action for damages. For criminal act, anyone injured in person or property by a criminal act has and may recover full damages in a civil action unless specifically accepted by law. May recover the cost of maintaining the action and attorney's fees if authorized by any provision of the rules of civil procedure or another section of the revised code or under the common law of this state, and may recover punitive and exemplary damages if authorized by section such and such. Okay. We ain't going to the other section. Just wanted to show you that. So now that we went to citizen's arrest. So you know you can arrest. But we understand that to seize means to arrest. So we know you can request. You can arrest or request. So now you can request information on somebody who has committed a criminal act, and you can file a civil action to recover damages for that criminal act. And you don't even have to be present. All you need is proof. All you need is proof and reasonable cause to believe that it's happened. And it can be done without a warrant. Like a warrant signed by a judge. When we say warrant, so when we say the word warrant, that's authorized by a judge. But it's not about getting a warrant signed. It's about knowing the equivalence. Warrant equivalence. Yeah, let's write that down.
The next act, I know you're going to enjoy him because he's talented, he's bright, and he's my son, so I know you're going to enjoy him.
And I challenge any bar associate to get on my channel and say anything. I'll find out who you are. Embarrass you. We don't like the bar. It ain't the person, it ain't the human being in the suit. It's the suit. It's the suit. It's the bar. I wear suits too, but the bar, man. Listen, the bar is like Coca-Cola. Can Coca-Cola sue Coca-Cola? Like, can one employee in the name of Coca-Cola, can he sue another employee in the name of Coca-Cola? Or does this employee have to officially sue another employee in the name of Coca-Cola outside that jurisdiction? Because Coca-Cola is not going to allow that. They're not going to allow that. So if you're going to sue in the name of Coca-Cola as an employee, the only way they'll allow that is if you sue somebody who is not a fucking employee. You got to sue somebody in their outside capacity, not in their capacity as another employee of Coca-Cola, because now you're making the defendant and the plaintiff the same goddamn person. So Coca-Cola can't sue Coca-Cola, or they won't sue Coca-Cola. And the bar association won't sue the bar association. So your damn prosecuting attorney on your case, and your public defender on your case, and your judge on your case, and I say your, because you are the owner of the government, as we discussed in the prior video. So your honor, right, your judge, your prosecutor, and your public defender, which you didn't ask for at all, they come together and they work together to make an agreement, because the only thing Coca-Cola is going to come to, these Coca-Cola employees are going to come to, is an agreement. Coca-Cola not going to sue Coca-Cola. They're going to make it seem like they suing Coca-Cola. But what they're going to do is, at the end of the proceedings, the prosecutor and the defense attorney are going to make an agreement. They're going to sign the same paper. Now, if you go in there without an attorney and they say you guilty, tell me this. Are you just going to sign your name away when they say guilty? Or are you still going to be in disagreement? Are you instantly going to appeal? Because you like, man, I don't have no attorney. I don't agree with this shit. I'm not signing nothing. If they don't got your signature, they have no agreement with you. It's just the judge and the goddamn prosecutor signing stuff, and that shows a clear bias. Clear bias is nobody signed nothing on your behalf for you. That's why it's important not to have one of these goddamn public pretenders ruin your life. Because all they're going to do is turn you back right to the goddamn prosecutor and make an agreement. And when they say not guilty, he going to look at you and say, I don't agree with that verdict. But then he going to walk right up to the judge and say, I do agree with the verdict. In fact, I'm going to sign my signature that says I agree with the verdict. And I'm going to go tell my client that I hate this judge and I don't agree and that they're scum. And then after that, I'm going to lunch with the judge and the prosecutor, you damn public defender scums. Think I don't know? Acting like you ain't cool with them. Freedom of Information Act requests are warrant equivalents. Stop trying to be the prosecutor. Stop trying to be the defendant. Stop trying to argue your way in court. It ain't gonna work. Somebody charge you, learn how to pay. You need to pay. You need to learn how to pay. In order to learn how to pay, you need this, man. This that get out of jail free card. This is what you need. You need to learn how to pay. You need to learn the laws you need to know in order for you to learn how to pay. And once you learn these laws, then we can start doing classes and getting more productive things going to where I could teach you things like this and teach you how to instead of more of the what. But at this point, I just got to teach you what things are. Sometimes what things are capable of based on what the law says. And now I have to display the law for you so I can reserve my rights and my protections and to let you know that this is the disclaimer. I'll show you the laws to disclaim anything that may be seen as an opinion of mine. I'll show you Black Law Dictionary. I'll show you internet links. Government links. In fact, government links. I'll show you Cornell educational links. I'm not just showing you .coms and Joe Schmoes and moms and pops. I'm showing you government codes. So I'm telling you that none of this information belongs to me. It all belongs to everybody. And all I did was read this stuff, man. I didn't make none of this stuff up. I know to seize is a synonym to arrest because it says it in law. It's like a warrant for your arrest is a warrant for your seizure. They coming to seize you, just like Fourth Amendment says you're guaranteed from unreasonable searches and seizures. So if they find out that you sent a public record request to search and request and they say that it's unreasonable, they will deny it.
The next act, I know you're going to enjoy him because he's talented, he's bright, and he's my son. So I know you're going to.
You know what I'm saying? And then, in fact, they'll deny it unless you put security on a search and request. Because when you make a warrant for the search and when the court issues a warrant for search and seizure of a defendant or his property, what they doing is they saying that somebody gave them evidence that a crime occurred. That evidence is going to be used as security in order to issue the warrant, to pay for the issuance of the warrant. The warrant will get issued. They'll search and seize. If they find what they need, they'll bring it back and they'll put it back into the court. And then the court will be able to get the money back to whoever put the security down. Whoever put the security down gonna get their security back because they found what they were searching for. If they don't find what they were searching for, now the warrant did not get executed, or it got executed, but it came back inconclusive. Came back with no evidence, which is good for the defendant, which is bad for them. So they be careful to issue warrants because it costs them money. Now, your Freedom of Information Act public record search and request is going to cost you money. The first piece of money is going to cost you is to send the mail. So most government agencies, they're going to have websites where you could do a request, but then they're going to send you a response telling you how much to send them in money. Then you'll pay them. And when you pay them, you're going to want to make a photocopy of your payment. You're going to make a photocopy of your money order, the front to back, right? Signed, endorsed. Make a photocopy of the receipt. You keep the receipt, but you want to make a photocopy of the mailing envelope. You send it to them in. Make a photocopy of the document, everything that has to do with that. And you mail it in with the payment. That payment is securing the search and request because now they got paid. So now they can do the search and now they can do the request. And then they can send you your stuff back. And if there's any money left over, they'll send you a check with the rest left over. And it's as simple as that. And you paid for the warrant. You paid for the search. It's a warrant equivalent. You don't got to tell them, oh, this crime and this crime occurred. That's not the court. Don't do that, because at that point you overstepping your exhaustion of remedies. You need to tell them, on this day an incident occurred. That's it. On this day an incident occurred. This officer pulled me over. And on this day this officer pulled me over. It was here, here, and there. Don't say what he did. Just say he pulled, even though this officer searched you without a warrant, even though this officer busted your car up and damaged your property, you're not going to say that in your Freedom of Information Act request. All you're going to say there was a traffic incident, and you want the dispatch records. You want the police body cam records. You want the oath. You want the bond. You want this and that. And they're going to send you a bill, and you're going to pay for it, and they're going to give you everything you asking for, and you're going to seize it. And I'm going to end it with this last slide. I wasn't even going to pop this one up, but we got to. Bucket. 2 tears in a bucket. What's it say? Rule 64, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, seizing a person or property. Remedies under state law. In general, at the commencement of and throughout an action, every remedy is available that, under the law of the state where the court is located, provides for seizing a person or property to secure satisfaction of the potential judgment. But a federal statute governs to the extent it applies specific kinds of remedies. The remedies available under this rule include the following, however designated, and regardless of whether state procedure requires an independent action. Regardless of whether state procedure requires an independent action. Arrest, attachment, garnishment, replevin, sequestration, sequestration. I gotta get that word right. Sequestration, man. And other corresponding or equivalent remedies. All right. Yeah, man. Seize that property, man. Let them take your stuff. Hey, man. That's where you heard it first. We went through a lot today. It's been going on an hour. It's been 53 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. All on a business. Once again, cash at me. The best nation is donation. $ALLONABIZ. Put some money in my pocket. Sock it to my pocket so I could drop more. I'm gonna keep dropping it, but I come on, man. Let's get these t-shirts made. Allonabiz.com. Go get you a t-shirt. Go get you some pull-up, some fleece, some champion fleeces or windbreaker style for the winter. Go to Amazon.com. Get you a copy of the Get Out of Jail Free Card book. Get Out of Jail Free Card. It's only for the ones though. This is $200. It's only for the ones. The ones that really want to study, that really want to know what's going on. Because all you're going to see is the increase in wealth, the increase of information that I'm going to provide, and the increase of money that I'm finna have. And as I get more money, off what I'm saying, y'all going to start understanding that this is realer than just words, man. This ain't words. This is actions too. And a wise man once told me, when you align your words with your actions, when you align the words with the actions, you get a victory, man. And we on a victory lap. It's a marathon, baby. Let that beat rock out to the end once again. Y'all know how we do it. You let the beat fade out. When it's stop, man. I wish I could fade my screen to black. How I do that, man? I'll do that. And you fade to black. Yeah, man. All on the business, man. It's a good class today. We went over a lot. You really got to go back to the front to understand the end. You got to go to the front to understand the back. Push that push. Everybody move to the back of the bus. The back of the bus. You know, in case y'all getting in here late and y'all getting in here at the tail end of this instrumental drop by Now Born, the FOIA public record search and request, man. What is it, man? It's really just a warrant equivalent, you know, a warrant for search and seizure. You know, to seize means to arrest. You know, now a person is a public record now. Last time I checked, the oath of office is a public record. You know, you ever seen one of them videos? Somebody get pulled over. They say, I'm gonna get your oath. I'm gonna destroy your bond. They be yelling at the police. I don't do that. I don't advocate that. Do not yell at the police. But I used to be like, well, how are these people so powerful? Think they just scream at the police? Yeah, you're gonna see me again in court. I sued you last week and all this stuff. What are they doing? I said, damn, they getting oaths and bonds. You telling me that the officer, the human being under the uniform, has sovereign immunity, qualified immunity, because he's a human being under the cloak of authority, under the color of law. Now, instead of getting the color, just get the law. He's under the color of law. What is the color of law? It is the misuse of law. The only way you can misuse the law is if you was given the authority under the public record. That public record itself is a person. So I'm going to seize or otherwise arrest that person. That's what the law tells you to do, man. We're just doing what the law tells us to do. Don't do nothing, though. Don't do nothing. Just listen to what I'm telling you. Write this stuff down. Take some notes. You know what I'm saying? And understand that this is your rights. You exercise your rights. I can't tell you to execute the law. I could just tell you that the law belongs to you. I can tell you that. That's not advice. That's a fact. The law belongs to the public. It's public domain, which means you can search it, you could Google it, you could use it, you could print it, you could distribute it, you can give it to people, and you can share it with people. You just can't advise people on it. You can't give anybody advice on it. So, once again, a final disclaimer. This is not advice. This is not advice. All this is information laid on the table for us all to be able to sift through the information, right? And hopefully with the other videos that I post and other information that I share, we'll be able to connect a lot of dots that link us to our past, but also link us to the promised future that we have, a beautiful future that we have as a group of people on this earth and thriving as human beings. But we have to become more intelligent, and a wise man knows that he knows nothing. So I will be the first to say that I'm stupid than a motherfucker and I need to learn some more, man. I need to learn more. I need to learn more. I need more books. I need more books. Okay, I need more Black Law Dictionary, more dictionary. I need more encyclopedia. I need more unchanging truth. I need more innovation in communication and changing management. I need more of these things in my life. I need more of these get out of jail free card books. I need more and more and more, because we're living in an age of information, which is why they have a whole thing called a Freedom of Information Act, because in this world we living in now, it's the age of information. And if you don't know something, you ain't gonna show or grow nothing. You got to know to grow. You know, the knowledge is the foundation that you must plant your seeds in. Then you got to water them with your words and your actions. And then you'll see the fruits of your labor develop and you'll have the best part of life. So with that, I'll let y'all go. Peace.